Here we are, day 5 of the 5-day connecting challenge. Welcome back. Ginger here, your host of the 5-day connecting challenge. So tell me in the comments, whenever you are taking this challenge, did you do the previous 4 days? Did you reach out and call 2 people who you haven't spoken with in a year or more? Did you send 2 people cards, notes, or letters who you value? Did you give 2 genuine compliments to your team members, whether they are immediate team members, employees, contractors, vendors, suppliers, whoever that is? Did you do that? And did you give 5 people you value in your professional world resources that are of use to them? If you've done all those things, I'm so proud of you. Like, woohoo! Yes, that's what I'm talking about. That's what connection is. Connection is reaching out, creating and developing relationships of worth and meaning. Before I got on right now with you all, I was Zooming with my mother-in-law, and my mom-in-law is somebody who's pretty darn remarkable to me. I can't believe how lucky I got when I married my fine husband, and his parents are wonderful people. And so I got 2 sets of parents, and really happy for that. We haven't talked, we haven't seen each other for probably 2 or 3 weeks, because about 3 or 4 months ago, I suggested that we meet weekly for tea. Both Shirley and I enjoy tea, and it's a good excuse, reason, opportunity to stay in touch, to stay connected. And she's in a different state, and I am here in Oregon, and I value those times together. And sometimes when they're coming up, I think, well, is this really what I want to do right now? And then I think it's what I do want to do in a deep way, and stay connected with the people who are of value. Think of somebody right now who's of deep value to you. Maybe it is a parent, maybe it's a relation, maybe it's a friend, maybe it's a colleague, maybe it's a client. It doesn't matter who it is, because you found connection with somebody who matters to you, somebody who has worth and value and meaning, somebody who you want to give to, give yourself to, give freely, and develop a deep relationship. If you're watching this real time, you know that we're going through a pandemic. If you're watching this after the fact, who knows when? It's October 8th, 2020, smack dab in the middle of the COVID-19 2020 pandemic. What a time to understate it. And if you live through it, you know what I'm talking about. And it's easy for our memories to fade after something is over. 4 weeks ago, almost to the day, fire ripped through my town. Literally, half my town is gone. My little town of Talent, Oregon, half my town is gone. In the matter of hours, fire ripped through it with huge winds, and conditions were perfect, as the Concords would say. Conditions were perfect for that. Is that the time to think of starting connections? Not necessarily. Is it the time where we really rely on connections? Yes, like nothing else. And as I saw the smoke clouds forming out my back door, I thought, it's going to be an interesting afternoon. I wonder what's going to happen. And I started preparing. I wanted to make sure that I stayed connected with my husband. I stayed connected with my neighborhood, my neighbors. I wanted to make sure I stayed connected with who might need help in our immediate area. I had friends reaching out to me. Ginger, are you okay? I had clients reaching out to me, colleagues, people all across the globe as the news started to break, especially in the next 24, 48, 72 hours. I was so humbled by how we can be such deeply empathetic beings and how we want to stay connected. This challenge seems to tip across the top of the waves. And as I'm sharing and teaching right now, it's very surface for me. It's very meaningful for me to share this with you, because when we are disconnected, we don't know where to go. What if, for example, in my neighborhood, I didn't know any of my neighbors? What if? I'd be scared out of my mind. What's going on? In fact, I looked over my fence at one point when the clouds were building, the smoke clouds were building. One of my neighbors, who's newer to the area in general, was looking out, and I called over the fence to him, and are you okay? Is there anything you need? And he says, I'm really freaked out. Okay, that's the time that the connection is really, really meaningful. That's the time when we step up as connectors. So this stuff, these are skills. These build your muscles to be able to holler over the fence, hey, are you literally okay? And what can I do to help you? And to take charge. At that moment, I think fear was in his eyes. He'd never experienced anything like this. He's a full-grown adult. I said, I'm right here. This is what I'm doing. I'm going to keep you posted. I have a place. You come with me, okay? Okay. You don't wait for options in those moments. This may seem extreme, but welcome to life. Every choice has a consequence, and every connection can build that base, that foundation, that meaning, that purpose, that belonging that we so all desperately crave. That's what connection is, my friends. That's why this matters to me. That's why I want to teach. That's why I want to give you the gift of learning how to connect. Because when we learn how to connect, we start to really form meaningful, long-lasting relationships. Throughout that ordeal of the fires actually happening over the course of 24 hours, 48 hours, it was surreal, no doubt about it. And I'm so glad that my skills were already in place to get to be and stay connected. I would check in on my neighbors. I'm watching differently as I'm walking around the neighborhood with my N95 mask. You know, there's no lights, there's no power, there's very few of us here. Lots of people fled, probably reasonably so, when we were given the green light to go ahead and flee. And I still want to be in my neighborhood if it's safe. And I'm really glad I was. I know looters, they got arrested at the end of my street. Like, what in the hell? Come on, you don't kick people while they're down. You connect. You find the connection. I wish I would have come across somebody like that. I want to have that conversation. I don't want to put myself in harm's way. At the same time, we're all human. We are all starting this crazy adventure called life on the same foot. What is the motivation behind stealing from somebody when they're down? That doesn't make any logical sense. In fact, I was talking with one of my town police officers, because I know some of them too. They're just people. They're just people doing what they think they need to do. And I was asking the officer about it, and the officer was schooling me about what is that connection for them. And wow, that's really interesting. Being a connector means being curious, being suspensive of judgment, suspending your judgment, and not necessarily liking something. That's not what it's about. But really skilling up consistently during your whole life. On the days you don't feel like it, still do it. On the days you feel like it, dig in as much as you want to. Really pay attention to building your skills and your abilities. Anybody who wants to connect, anybody who wants to learn how to connect can. My neighbors and I were standing over at the corner of an intersection 2 days after it happened. Still incredibly heavy smoke, just the worst kind of air you can breathe. And we're standing around, and we're craving connection. We're making sure each other is okay, and we start to joke, because humor is a great icebreaker. Humor is a great connection. Sure each other is okay, and we start to joke, because humor is a great icebreaker. Humor is a great connection point. And one of the neighbors said, Ginger, you go ahead and organize a barbecue. You're the coordinator. And it was I laughed, and it was such a compliment in that moment. I was so humbled that my neighbors see me that way. Yeah, I put a lot of work into getting to know my neighbors because they matter to me. They're great people. They have interesting lives, interesting stories. I want to know who they are. This is not about agreeing with people. Please be really clear. Connecting isn't about consensus. Connecting is about fundamentally finding what we all share in common. And for the record, we always have more in common than we have different. Always. Start with our physical beings and go from there. I like to joke in trainings and in speaking, hey, everybody, give me a smile. Give me a toothy smile. So everybody in the room smiles. Go ahead and do it right now. Give me a toothy smile. Okay. Oh, look at that. You have teeth. I have teeth. That may sound silly, but what a great place to start. Start with something that we all share. It's not about being like-minded. I hate that saying. It's about all having the mindset of growth and possibility, and of desiring connection with my neighbors, with my local police officers, with whoever. It doesn't matter. What matters is there are strong ties that bind us. That's called connection, my friends. That is what this is about. I'm offering you this challenge to skill up in really simple incremental ways. These are the tip of the iceberg. And the tip of the iceberg is where networking lives, and it's where the superficial crap of our lives live. That's not what I'm interested in teaching you. I'm interested in beginning your skills, helping you by being your teacher, taking you in this journey of what does it mean to have deeply fulfilling relationships, connections. Do you want that? I know I want it. If you want it too, do the work. Do what is necessary to skill up. Find your people. If you want to learn how to do all that, that is exactly what I teach. I have a masterclass coming up on October 20th. We're going to spend 3 hours together. We're going to invest 3 hours of your precious life, of my life, that you're going to go deep with specific skills. We're going to talk about language. I'm going to teach to specific phrases and ways and techniques, things that I do that work for me. There's people on LinkedIn, for example, phenomenal community. I love that community. People call me a super connector. I don't call myself that, but some people do. Super connector, master connector, whatever. I'm not hung up on the labels. I'm flattered and I work my butt off and I have techniques and tactics and strategies and tools. That's what I will teach you in the masterclass. If you want this for just you, let's talk. If you want this for your team, let's talk. If you're in sales and like, oh my gosh, we are really having a hard time right now. We don't know how to connect with people. People aren't answering their phones. They're not returning calls. It's this email avalanche. And how do we stand out? If you know how to connect on a really deep fundamental basis, you will cut through the chaff. You will cut through the noise, the clutter. You will be heard. That's what I teach. I teach leaders like you how to be world-class connectors because that makes everything possible. That's what we're talking about here. So do the work. In fact, here's day 5, homework. This is what you need to do. And I call it work. I used to not like that word. Now I love it. I didn't like it at a phase in my life when I was doing work that was hard, that was frustrating, that I would just wake up. I'm like, what's not working? Why isn't this working? I was connected to my vision, but I wasn't connected to how to do it. Then I started deeply investing in myself, like well into the 5-figure zone, my friends, like the grad school level, because I want to figure this out. I don't want to be disconnected. I don't want my mission to be here and me to be here. Do you want that? I bet you don't. I bet you want them to be like this. That's where I'm at now. I still have so much to figure out, and I still have a lot of stuff figured out. And the stuff I have figured out, I want to teach you. So day 5 of the 5-day connecting challenge is going to be more robust than we've had the first 4 days. It's a challenge on purpose. Challenge is growth, and growth does not happen in a comfort zone. There's no such thing as a comfort zone. That's baloney. That's a myth. You've got to challenge yourself to grow. Only in challenge do we grow. If we're not challenged, we don't grow. You get it? Okay. So we went 2, 2, 2, 5. We're going to go 10 today. Let's see, what do I want to give you? So many ways you could really dig in, like with all your being into connecting. I want you to reach out. I want you to connect. Here's what I want you to do. This is going to feel really uncomfortable for a lot of you. It's something that I'm still working on, and so we'll do this together. I want you to reach out to 10 new ideal prospects. I'm aiming this for you if you're also a business person. This is how I want you to do it. I want you to go on LinkedIn, and I want you to set yourself a timer for an hour. And in that hour, be totally focused. Turn off everything else. Put your phone to the side. Turn it off. Put it in another room. Whatever it is. Like get out of email. Focus. If you want to build your life and your business, your career, this one is especially for you today. I want you to find 10 people who you would love to work with. You don't have to know a ton about them. You just need to have some sort of motivation of like, oh, that company, yeah, those are my people. So start there. For example, one of those companies for me is Jeep Wrangler, specifically the Wrangler brand within the Jeep family. I'm a longtime Wrangler fan. I have my second one in the garage. I love Wrangler. There's so many things about it. They are on my list So I'm going to find 10 people in the Jeep company. I'm going to see if I can find them in the Wrangler division. I have no idea. This is huge discovery. That's the challenge. Do this with me, my friends. I guarantee if you put forth the effort, you will learn something. You will learn how to better connect. You will make mistakes just like I will, and then you'll grow. You will learn. Look, if we let ourselves be totally open, other people will support us. We all climb the stairs together at some point in our own way at different times in our life. And if somebody is not empathetic to that, they're not your people. So let them go. The challenge today, then, day 5 of the 5-day connecting challenge, is 10 new ideal prospect connections. LinkedIn is the way to go. Don't screw around with Facebook. This is not Instagrammable. This is LinkedIn. I want you to use that community because that's a business-friendly, focused community. 10 of them. Stretch yourself. Invigorate those muscles. Really challenge yourself. I'm going to do the same thing. If you want to learn more, if you want to go deeper with this, join me for the masterclass October 20th. I will put the link below this video. And even if that date is passed, get in touch with me. Say, Ginger, I want this for myself. I want this for my team. I want you to come and teach this from our stage, virtual or in person. Let me know how I can help you. I want to give you what you need. The world needs connecting skills because, frankly, a lot of us stink at it. And you are totally in command of changing that. I would love to be your teacher. Come join me for the masterclass. Let me know how I can help you. Do the 5 days. Keep going and growing. And when I can be at your service, know that it would be my honor and pleasure. Go forth, my friends. You make a difference. Whether it feels like it every day or not, you do. And the world needs you. Learn how to connect. Connectors change the world. Thank you for being here. And remember, it's always a great day to connect.